How many you got coming back, all that type of stuff?
Well, we return 4 starters. We have 6 seniors in total that have played together for quite a long time. That senior class has been special coming through. They were 46-2 in 3 years of middle school basketball. Our school as a whole had never won more than 17 games in a single season, and we've now averaged 17 wins the last 3 seasons. And even last year we set the school record with 19 wins. And that was on the toughest schedule that the school had ever seen. So our schedule doesn't get any easier this year. We've actually added Penn at Penn, and we played Gary Westside in the first round of the Greenfield Central tournament over the holidays. So, we replaced Lakeland with Penn. And last year, the first game at the Greenfield tournament, we played Pendleton Heights. And even down there, you talk about the competition was really, really fun. So the girls actually wanted to return again. We played Pendleton Heights, we played Richmond, and we played Louisville Eastern, who at the time was the number 2 team in the state of Kentucky when we played them. So,
it seems like this is one of those years that has been circled on a lot of fans, calendars probably for quite some time with this group coming up. With that brings a lot of, extra pressures and expectations, probably a good word. Have you felt that at all from this group, or are they kind of loose?
No, they're pretty loose. I mean, it's such a small, well-knit community that, even outside of just the seniors, the underclassmen, they've all known each other for years. They've all known they were at some point going to play together or have played together in the past. And beyond that, I think, when I got to Whitko, 6 years ago, my whole emphasis was we have to treat each other as family, and we have to get along. We have to, especially on the court. You don't have to be best friends off the court necessarily, but we need to work together on the court, and I think they've done a really good job of embracing that.
When it comes to what they can accomplish, their strengths, their weaknesses. What are some of the weaknesses that they have to get better at? What are the strengths you think you can build on, and what do you think they can accomplish?
Well, I think the number one thing that we're trying to improve upon is our mental approach in big games. Last year we played 26 games. 25 of them were decided by double figures. So, we only had the one that wasn't was an overtime loss in the sectional championship game. But the other 6 losses were double figures. The 19 wins were double figures. And, when we play teams that we should beat, we usually do. We've got to figure out how to beat those other teams. We purposely strengthened our schedule. So now we have to perform against those teams. And I don't think it's an ability thing. I don't think it's a skill thing. I think we just have to understand how the mental approach is. And we don't have, we only have 3 girls that play year-round, that play against elite competition from around the country. So last year was kind of the first taste, for some of those other girls to see teams like, Pendleton Heights, who is a 500 team, but they play all Indianapolis 4A schools. To see a Louisville Eastern, that was kind of the first opportunity for them to see teams like that on a consistent basis. So they really embraced it. They wanted it this year. They wanted me to improve the schedule. They wanted to go out and play good teams, and I kind of, commend them for that. That's the right attitude, and it's building in the right direction. Now we got to go out and perform against those good teams. Well, I just think that there is an underlying toughness that they have that we have to bring out of them. They just, it's one step to want that and to be that aggressive. The next step then is to turn it into production on the floor, and that's my job. That's what we need to do as coaches is figure out how to make them more productive against those good teams.